Welcome back, Luminary. Today I'm here to talk all about Jupiter entering Taurus. We get 12 months of Jupiter gliding through this luxurious sign. And while Jupiter is in Taurus, he's asking, how will you sustain your expansion and growth in your change making work? So listen up. Welcome to Star Powered Astrology for Changemakers. I'm Leslie Tagorda, your guide, a Hawaii-born Filipino Jewish astrologer who loves navigating visionaries like you through the spiritual journey of your work so that you can be inspired to lead by your chart and become the luminary leader you were born to be. All right, Luminary, I'm super excited to talk about Jupiter. I hope that you heard season 2, episode 28, part of the planetary processes where I talked about Jupiter, the process of growth, expansion, and dreaming big. That episode, I really just shared like what Jupiter's role is in your natal chart and just looking at how it works about as it walks about your natal chart, how it really amplifies and maximizes certain parts of your life and work. Well, today I want to share about how Jupiter leaves Aries and enters Taurus on May 16th. And really, what the astrology looks like on the day that Jupiter moves into Taurus, because we got some big things coming up, and what to do and not to do over the next 12 months while Jupiter gets to luxuriate in Taurus. Who's going to benefit, and maybe some things you need to watch out for with Jupiter and Taurus. And of course, I'd love to share with you the luminary leadership qualities for folks with Jupiter in Taurus natally. Lastly, this episode, I'm going to be answering questions from the folks in my free Facebook group, Star Powered Community. So if you ever want to have a dialogue or have questions about things in the stars, head on over to that free Facebook group and ask me there. I love to share astrology wisdom, and maybe I will answer your question on this podcast. So today I am dropping this episode in the United States Mother's Day. That is on May 14th, 2023, which also happens to be the very last day of Mercury retrograde in Taurus. So we have a lot of Taurian energy ruled by Venus. And so if you are celebrating Mother's Day or Caretaking's Day, I send you just the greatest, most loving hug. And if you are like me, where you might be motherless, this is actually my first Mother's Day, experiencing Mother's Day as a motherless daughter. So I've been really thinking about this day. I am a mother now. I have a young son that you already probably know about. But now the roles have really changed, and I'm like, I'm still sitting with that and still kind of processing that, and just approaching this day, I'm thinking like, wow, how am I really going to feel on this day? So wherever you're at with a day like today, the complicated relationships that we have with our mothers or don't have with our mothers or never got to experience with a mother, I'm wishing you a most loving and accepting and nurturing day, because ultimately that's what Mother's Day is about: nurturing and caretaking and celebrating those that nurture and caretake us. So, right before we get into all things Jupiter in Taurus, I wanted to let you know that I have two Venusian things to share. Why Venusian? Well, Jupiter in Taurus, ruled by Venus. We have our two benefics, our two benevolent energies that are really opening up for us. So, reminder number one, Venusian thing, Venusian Jupiterian thing number one, I am hosting an eclipse retreat in October. I know that is 6 months away, but this retreat, we are putting the final touches on the webpage for this, and I am beyond excited to share something so absolutely decadent and luxurious. Yes, Jupiter and Venus here. I'll be hosting this retreat in Calistoga over 3 nights. We'll be doing an eclipse walk. You'll be spending time with me, talking all things astrology and work. It's going to be an intimate gathering with a maximum of only 9 people. We're going to have 3 support people. So you can have actually 4 support people, me and Jeff and Jamira and our friend Monica. We're all going to be sharing our wisdom and guiding you. So oh my gosh, talk about pampering. Well, anyway, if you want to be the first to know when I release this page out to the public on May 30th, then head on over to starpowered.com/eclipse and get on that wait list to experience 3 days of a luxury with me in wine country, Northern California. Now, the second Venusian thing that is happening is that I'm starting to announce quarter 3 of Star Powered Circle because the doors are going to be opening just for a week in that June solstice. And oh my gosh, that's only 6 weeks away. And what's so exciting about all of these different, these quarterly axes, quarterly entry points into Star Powered Circle is that if you are really interested in taking a live intensive with me in the third quarter, I'll be delivering this in September, is Star Powered Style. Now, again, I'm bringing you 5 months out into the future. Why are you telling me about this now, Leslie? Well, because our doors, you know how I like to, this is just my own personal launch strategy. I like to have a wait list and I like to have a little bit of time to have those doors open because I want you to have a full body yes. I don't want you to hem and haw over things. I don't want to have to convince you. I just want to share with you the power of astrology. And so the intensive, the 4-week intensive that I'll be delivering live in quarter 3 is called Star Powered Style. Hence more Venusian things. So I just want to let you know that style is more than just your look. It's, yes, your one of a kind distinctive appearance in the way that you present yourself visually online and when you're about in the world. And more importantly, it's a way that you do things that allows you to make your mark. And so the way you do things, your creative process, the way you present yourself, and your one of a kind distinctive look, this is how you make your mark with Star Powered Style. So if you have been waiting for how to align your visual identity and your creative process to your Star Powered astrology, well, this is the course that you'll be wanting to take. So if you are interested in getting on that wait list and joining us for quarter 3, head on over to starpowered.com/circle. Okay, those are my 2 Venus Venus messages. So let's talk about what you're really here for. Jupiter in Taurus. All right, so Jupiter leaves Aries and enters Taurus on May 16th at 10:20 a.m. Pacific, 1:20 p.m. Eastern. And this is our year-long season of sustain your expansion. The big question to me that Jupiter is really asking us is how will you maximize your resources and embrace sustainable growth? Now through May 26, 2024, so that's almost an entire year and a year and 10 days, Jupiter luxuriates in Taurus, our 2 benefics, Jupiter and Venus. Taurus rules Venus, and the feel big planet in the feel good sign makes for a lovely year, expanding on the vision of embodied peace, abundance, sustainability, and steadfastness. Now, as soon as Jupiter moves into Taurus, guess what? Jupiter squares off with Pluto, still hanging on at that 0 degree of Aquarius. Pluto's in retrograde, so in just a little bit, it's going to cross back over to Capricorn. But anytime a planet moves into any fixed sign or any air sign right now, Pluto is going to greet them, right? And now we think of Jupiter as a benefic, right? But remember, Jupiter loves to amplify and loves to maximize. And so if you are not feeling in that high place of faith and gratitude and optimism, then guess what? Especially with Pluto, Jupiter is just going to amplify whatever you're currently feeling. So while Jupiter is known for this optimism, it's going to amplify what you already believe. So make sure you have your belief set all set to go as Jupiter moves into Taurus. Now, with Pluto, who loves to take things to an atomic level, with this potent mix, it's important to keep your belief and your gratitude at that highest and most hopeful. In my email newsletter, I was sharing that I absolutely love Michelle Obama. If you haven't yet heard Michelle Obama's podcast, The Light, or not have yet read her book, The Light We Carry, oh my goodness, it is absolutely moving. And she's the one who reminds us in the darkest of times, when they go low, we go high. And let me just say, this is your battle cry to keep your belief and gratitude at their highest and most hopeful. If you can harness this light, this power of faith and gratitude that lives within you, it's going to inspire more of us, more of you, to do the same and create prosperity for all. So, Jupiter moving into Taurus over the next year, we have some energies already in Taurus. We have the North Node in Taurus that's going to be moving soon to Aries. And we also have Uranus in Taurus and Jupiter meeting up with Uranus. Ooh, so, I don't know if you remember all the way back to 2022 when the nodes moved into Taurus and when Uranus moved into Taurus. I was talking about a theme about Uranus and Taurus called rematriation, with our North Node, our soul's destiny, and our collective destiny, because the North Node is for all of us here, and Uranus being its ability to up level and innovate. Both of these energies moving into Taurus, this Taurus energy of our resources, money, land, energy, all of those things, food, how we really need to rematriate and innovate the way that we take care of Earth. And innovation, not always like trying out new things, but also bringing back ancient technologies and ancient ways of doing things so that we can renew them and use them in a new way. And so when we think about in this year, first, Jupiter meeting up with the North Node, that's going to happen on May 31st. So, North Node, our collective soul potential, meeting up with Jupiter, the optimizer and the maximizer. This is going to have the potential to expand our collective purpose in the Taurian realm of caring for Mother Earth and cultivating consciousness for our home planet. This is a powerful opportunity to rematriate, focus on sustainability as we all live here on Turtle Island. Really just doing your part. So if you feel like planting a vegetable garden or uprooting invasive species in your garden, whatever, your metaphorical garden or your literal garden, this is going to be such a beautiful time. And then by April 2024, in just 11 months, Jupiter is going to meet up with Uranus in Taurus, making a once in a 13-year event that brings a new cycle of groundbreaking technological advances. I'm going to definitely have an entire podcast dedicated to Jupiter meeting up with Uranus in Taurus, because this is a massive, massive cycle in 2024. But you can already see how things are building up and leading up just with all of the technological advances, whether this be in AI but again, in Taurus, this is going to be about finances, our resources, money, our values, how our values have changed and up leveled. This is going to be our food resources, the land and our environment that we need to cultivate. So just be aware of all of those things that are going to be up leveling, and start to notice where you want to bring in your own change making work and already start doing this groundbreaking. The number one thing that you can do with really thinking about this groundbreaking that you want to get into is to think about your values. What do you want to measure? What resources are most important to you? And how do you want to invest in long-term, sustainable, expansive growth? Right? Jupiter, again, just magnifies. And in Taurus, we are so grateful that this magnification needs to happen slow and steady with tenacity and sustainability at the heart. So, this focus will be on earthly resources again, sustainable energy, changes in currency, and even more aerospace exploration as we search for other homes like our planet Earth. It's crucial that we all do our part to protect Mother Earth's resources and livelihood for all. This is not necessarily about the AI revolution, but rather a shift towards sustainability and a deeper appreciation for the material resources that we need to survive and thrive. There is abundance for all when we are not hoarding or extracting or not living without collaboration, right? When we're all symbiotic and supporting each other instead of hoarding resources, this is what Jupiter meeting up with the North Node, meeting up with Uranus really means. So I want you to reflect on seasons of past growth because you already know that Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the natal chart. I want you to take a moment to reflect on the last time Jupiter was in Taurus, the last 12 years ago. So this would have been June 2011 to June 2012. And if you look back to this 12-year cycle, this is going to provide a foreshadow of what you can expect during this upcoming transit. So the question you want to look back when you like go through your Google Calendar, I know my Google Calendar goes all the way back then. What growth did you experience in your life and work? Now, this could be money growth, yes, but more often than not, Jupiter is giving you a deepening and expansion of your philosophical, spiritual purpose and visionary journey at this time. Did you experience a stroke of luck or abundance in all of its forms? Again, not just money. Look at the other things that you truly value. That's what Jupiter wants you to uncover, all of those subtle things that sometimes we just don't pay attention to. Use these insights to help guide you towards your next level of growth along the same path. Of course, you can look at the house that Jupiter will be going through to give you even more insight as to what area will have the benefits of Jupiter going through this part of your chart. As you move through this 12-month season, it's important to prioritize practically, right? That's Taurus, determining, right? That's not the right word. It's important to prioritize your practicality, your determination, and an appreciation for the value of the material resources you need to thrive. By doing so, you can maximize your values, your resources, embrace sustainable, slow growth. This is what is really important. None of us are here for quick, rich schemes. We want sustainable, long term growth and just really embrace that approach to slow, long term growth in everything that you do, whether this is your business or your investments. Now, long term growth, I'm not going to go there. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the things that we want to do and some of the things that we don't want to do during this next 12 months as Jupiter spends its time in Taurus. So, number one, I want you to maximize your resources. I know I've been saying this earlier, but I want you to take a look at your energy, your capacity. I want you to take a look at your environment. I want you to take at any kind of land or home resources, your just like cancer rules real estate. I want you to take a look at your own real estate or your own investments into the land that that allows you to live. I want you to look at your money, to start to manage your resources, to manage your capacity to reduce waste, energy, and costs. I've already been kind of feeling this ramp up into Jupiter and Taurus. I met with a financial planner last week who gave me some kind of gut wrenching news, some realized lost investment, years, like decades. And she's like, how long have you been waiting to make these changes in your retirement fund? And I was like, oh, I don't know, 12 years. And she did some quick calculations and she showed me like the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I totally wasted. And so, lesson learned. There's that still like gut punch in my stomach, but I'm not going to make those mistakes anymore. And so, anytime it has to do with these kind of things that compound energy that can lead to burnout, investments in your long-term growth strategies for, retirement or saving up to purchase a home or taking care of maintaining your home, maintaining the land on which you live. This is compound time and interest. The longer you put it off, the more you're going to waste. So don't avoid that. Okay. So, in that same vein, if you're going to maximize your resources, I want you to notice where you're overdoing your resources and overeating, overspending, or just pure wasting. I put eating in there because we still have that Taurus energy, Taurus, Cancer, love to eat, right? And so, start to notice when you're overdoing things, especially when it comes to food, money, and capacity. Okay, number two thing to do during this season is to see your energy as renewable commerce. Yes. So we're going to see this more and more and more that, at least in the United States, our money system is not based on actual physical gold. Our money system, I'm not going to go into that. You can do your own research. I'm not an expert in that. But we are going to see more and more as our energy as renewable commerce. So whether this be sustainable energies like renewable energies like solar, wind, geothermal, all of those things, but also your own internal energy, your capacity to do things, to work within your seasons, and to find and create sustainable, not systemic, that's not the word, sustainable and seasonal solutions where you are integrating times of growth and creation and upward momentum, but also bringing things down, resting, relaxing, letting energy build again. So notice your own inner energy as well as the energy and the power that you pay for as renewable commerce that needs to be protected and cultivated in sustainable, seasonal ways. So, in that vein, what I want you to resist your urge to do is to bite off more than you can chew so that you burn out energetically. We're not going to do that this season. Okay. So, number three thing I want you to do during this Jupiter in Taurus for the next 12 months is start to optimize your life and your work for sustainability. I know, just like really uprooting yourself from hustle culture, decolonizing your mindset that says that you're not valuable unless you're working. Such BS. So, as you optimize your life and your work for sustainability, I want you to focus on quality over quantity. I want you to focus on eco friendly everything, even if it costs just a little bit more. In the long run, it's going to save you so much more and our planet so much more. I'm going to be considering turning Star Powered into a B certified corporation. We already have, we're a tech company, so we don't have a lot of waste, although I love my paper. I do print out a lot of things. I try to buy recycled paper. I try to buy recycled ink cartridges, but definitely because we still do web design and a lot of web and technology consultations for companies. Even your web host and your tech needs can be environmentally friendly. We use for our web hosting company, because we still build out WordPress based websites, we use SiteGround, and we absolutely love their values. Now, dismantle. What you don't want to do as you optimize for sustainability is take risks that are not sustainable. Okay. Again, no quick anything schemes. Okay. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to be grateful for going slow and steady. You are going at the exact, absolute perfect pace. Okay. Don't look at anybody who might be speeding past you. Be at your own pace for your own energy. This is something that I really learned to embrace, and it took me a while to really settle into this. I feel like a couple of years of I was just like really beating myself with that comparisonitis of like everybody, goes more viral, goes faster, this and this, but I have my Mars in Taurus. I need to be really grateful for just being slow and steady. So setting realistic goals to achieve over the long run, developing well thought out visions and purpose. Again, do not buy into quick notice anything. Okay. Number 5, I want you to leverage reliability, stability, and quality. And so, what this means in your brand, in your business, in your leadership, and your change making work is leveraging your values and brand loyalty. Whew. Taurus is so loyal and so dependable when it is operating at its highest. And so in your work and in your business, thinking about who's loyal to you and how can you cultivate this connection with the people that are your people who love you, who purchase from you this season. So I really want you to cultivate that. It brings in so much Venus, ruled by Venus that rules Taurus again. And again, with leveraging reliability, stability, and quality, here is a little treat for you: luxury goods. So if your brand happens to have a luxury goods and service, this is definitely going to be desired at this time. So anything that makes and up levels your work and your life is something to be like really a great investment. Now, don't go too overboard on the luxury. Know when it's good to invest in the luxury and know when it's time to like maybe kind of curtail your spending, because the last thing we want you to do is to overspend without a purpose. Now, that's one of those tricks of being a business owner, is that not all debt is bad debt, but knowing what you need to invest in yourself to be able to bring in the most return on investment according to your values. So, on the opposite end of that, I want you to resist the urge to offering more things, doing fast things. So no more offering fast fashion or quick turnaround offers or throwaway products. So, quit your H&M habit. I have to quit my Target habit. And if you're just kind of churning through offers and services in your work, instead cultivate what has been working. I know that sometimes part of a business is throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what works. But I bet you if you look back 4 years ago, 7 years ago, 12 years ago, there was something that was working that you completely forgot about. How about you dust that off, see how can you bring it up and to your speed with more reliability and quality and stability with all that you've learned in the past, and see what you can bring forth and make new again. Whew, that would be such a perfect way to really harness that Jupiter in Taurus energy. So over the next 12 months with Jupiter and Taurus, this is going to be especially potent for Taurus folks, and Taurus types of businesses. So if you have your sun, moon, or rising, or your midheaven, any of your angles, or even have a stellium in Taurus, over the next 12 months, you're just going to be receiving the blessings of Jupiter. Now, if you work in long-term financial planning or you're a long-term financial professional about building legacy wealth, this is going to be an amazing season for you. Real estate professionals, especially if you own property for land regeneration and protection, beautiful. Environmentalists working on sustainability, amazing. Luxury and quality goods and services, amazing. Change makers focused on long-term commitments and change, another excellent season for you. And of course, if you are a creator or artist focused on high-end artisan craftsmanship, build that brand loyalty, build out your community, because they're going to want your beautiful work. Now, who is this season going to be challenging for? Well, if you're a business or a person that only wants to go fast, this is going to be a hard season for you. If you are somebody who is super impulsive, again, not going to be the best season for you. If you're a risk taker and innovator that is only interested in disrupting and instant results, extraction or extractionary instant results, sorry, not going to be good for you. If you're ultra competitive, and again, that extractive, just taking without thinking about the whole system, not going to be good for you. And if you're a person that doesn't have their feet planted firmly in the ground, even if you're lots of air and fire and water, if you know how to be centered and grounded, you're going to be okay. But if you're not, sorry. So I hope you learned a little bit about the things that we get to look forward to over the next 12 months. Now I want to talk about if you happen to be a lucky holder of Jupiter in Taurus in your natal chart. So if you are one of these luminaries, a happy Jupiter return to you. Over the next year, Jupiter will meet up with your natal Jupiter, repeating a 12-year cycle of spiritual, philosophical, and visionary growth. Where were you 12 years ago, and what can you be extra grateful for at this time? Now, last year I had a Jupiter return, and if I didn't know that I had a Jupiter return, I would have it would have gone unnoticed. But what I did realize with that Jupiter return is that my own vision and my own spiritual growth has really landed. It had been there before, but it wasn't completely integrated and woven in. I think even if you listen to podcasts from the beginning of when I started podcasting to now, you can hear that kind of certainty that has really landed. And I thank Jupiter for that. Now, if you have Jupiter in Taurus, are a luminary leader that appreciates sustainable, practical expansion and growth. While you are ultimately an optimist, you believe in patience, grounded stability, and perseverance, are your keys to long-term success. While you love to spend money and invest, you prioritize quality, beauty, and luxury, which allow for increased revenue over the long term. Whether these investments be in products, services, or relationships, you have a deep appreciation and sense of aesthetics. In your purpose, you are pragmatic, committed, and loyal, resistant to change unless there is a long-term vision for the necessary change, right? So what I mean by that is nobody can tell you that you need to change, and people are going to say, oh, you're so hard to change. But when you really want to make things happen, you take your hooves out of the ground and you get going. Now, it's hard for you to go with the flow, I understand, as once you've decided or believed in something, you can be unwavering, and that makes you so wonderful. Keep to your purpose and know when you've reached the end. Don't hold on and hoard things that no longer have service or value to you. That's one of the things that I know can be hard for you. But just, do your Marie Kondo. Do you still love it? If you don't, it's out. In your work, guide your purpose and see the bigger picture with your great practicality, patience, long-term investment strategy, and eye for quality. Whew. So, recap, remember, Jupiter is going to spend a year in Taurus. Jupiter amplifies what it touches. So, the key is gratitude. Now, wherever Jupiter is transiting over this next Taurus season by house, shows you where in your life and work, that area of your life and work that will grow. When Jupiter touches down in Taurus, focus on expanding your embodied peace, abundance, sustainability, and steadfastness. Jupiter is going to meet up with North Node this May on the last day of May 31st, 2023, expanding our collective purpose. And while in Taurus, Jupiter in April of 2024 will meet up with Uranus, instigating a new technical upgrade. Lastly, look back to June 2011 and June 2012 to notice what parts of your life had a glow up and notice what similar themes will arise this time around. All right, so let's answer some questions that my beautiful members of Star Powered Community, my free Facebook group, asked in Facebook. So let me find that window and grab those questions. Okay, earlier this week, I put up the question, Jupiter enters Taurus coming up. What do you want to know? I'll answer it in an upcoming podcast. So, first up is Erica Navarro, and she asks, what are some of the activities we can do in business or life to make the most of this energy and influence? It feels yummy to me. Well, Erica, this whole episode was all about the things to do and not do during this season. And I know you with just your beautiful aesthetics, and this is going to feel really wonderful for you. I'm really looking forward to hearing what's up with your upcoming indie film and wondering what you can do to bring more brand loyalty to that film. April Millar asks, Jupiter and Taurus in the 10th house, what is the best way to work with all that expansive energy? Oh my goodness. I absolutely love, well, I mean, wherever Jupiter is traveling in your natal chart by house is always going to have this beautiful glow up. But the 10th house for Jupiter is just such a beautiful place in your life and work because the 10th house is like that place of harvest where you have your reputation, where you're delivering on your work and your ultimate mission, and things are moving at a really big and epic pace. Now, I know that April Millar is, opening up as an astrology focused on parenting. And when we think about the 10th house, when we look at it from this place of people and family, the 10th house is our mother. It's our authoritarian parent, the parent who has like the most authority in a child's life. And so, April, with this kind of visionary planet, Jupiter, and this purpose planet, as it's moving through your 10th house, I see you really landing in what you're here to do in this next season of your life. I'm super excited for you. So remember, and you mentioned back that you're feeling more consistent momentum to show up every day and do something. I absolutely love that. So, really prioritizing your work and your ultimate mission, what you're going to deliver in your work, and also your own mothering, how you're going to be an even more wonderful parent to your beautiful children that you can then share and guide others through leading, walking your talk, sharing all of those little moments. Next up is Elena, and she says, Jupiter is my favorite and my bestie for sure. From the transition from deep Mercury in retrograde to the power of Taurus into Jupiter, how can I prepare now for my best transition into power? And how can I go from 0 miles per hour to 110 miles per hour in this power and movement in my highest good? Yes. So Elena, I mentioned in a little comment in Facebook that I giggled because thinking about Jupiter and Taurus moving 100 miles per hour is kind of to me, Jupiter and Taurus is definitely not moving that fast. Jupiter moving at its fastest is like just kind of a little trot in the meadow. I always think about Jupiter, or I always think of Taurus energy as like Ferdinand the bull. And so Jupiter and Taurus is like an even like bigger bull. And so, you're thinking about this bull kind of moseying along in this meadow. I don't necessarily see it like running along. But so, what I feel because of this Jupiter and Taurus really being about slow, sustainable growth, now that we've had most of our Mercury retrograde over, now that we had that Scorpio eclipse, of course, integrating that Taurian scarcity to abundance, this time I really feel like your values have shifted and you really know what you want to measure. And now that you know what you want to measure and what you want to value, this is your opportunity to really grow your work, grow your leadership, grow your life from these new things that you value, and value going slow, taking really one step at a time, because this is for the long haul. This isn't just for any like kind of quick rich scheme. So think about the ultra marathon that is your life, and how you take paced slow step by step growth according to your values. Hello, Shelby is next, and Shelby asks, Jupiter is my time lord this year, and you can believe I've been looking forward to him entering Taurus in my seventh house for an abundance of new client and biz partnership opportunities. At the same time, I'm wary of the possibility to overdo things, especially since Jupiter will be transiting opposite my Scorpio, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and of course my ascendant over the next year. I'd love to hear practical ideas for making the most of this period without getting bit in the butt by Jupiterian grandiosity and over optimism. Indeed. So Shelby, like I love over optimism, right? Now, over optimism is different than blind optimism, right? So you can be optimistic, and your Scorpio will be happy to see, like, I can still be optimistic, but making sure to turn over every stone so that I'm not being blinded, that Scorpio energy be like, oh no. And so, anytime we have Jupiter transiting our angles, so as Jupiter will be going through your seventh house, it's going to cross over your descendant angle. And anytime one of these big planets crosses over one of our angles, it shakes up your entire structure, including your rising sign, right? Because it'll be sitting opposite, so it'll be pinging that. It'll be pinging your midheaven and your IC, just because it's shaking up the entire structure. So yes, because Jupiter will be going over your relationships, right? You can expect an abundance. You can expect an abundance of new clients and new business partnerships, and also like things like going more bigly. That's a terrible word, but more expansive in your relationships. But more, what happens when we have Jupiter going through that seventh house is that our clients, our partners, our romantic partners, you'll start to see them doing really big things. And because you're still related to that, you get to take a little bit of credit for all of the wonderful things that they're doing. So, one of the most beautiful ways of doing this is to start noticing and documenting how your clients are transforming as a result of your guidance and your leadership. Where, if you have a romantic partner or business partners, how they're expanding, and taking a little bit of credit for how you've guided them in that work. And so really feeling into this, knowing that you are a partner to them, is how you start to also grow your own sense of self with Jupiter moving through the seventh house. So I hope that serves all of you. And thank you, everyone, for for sharing your questions. I absolutely love answering questions. In Star Powered Circle, everybody in my paid community, everybody gets, we have star hours every month where it's like speed reading and business coaching. And sometimes our talks go for 2, even 3 hours, and they're so epic. It's so much fun for everybody. And like, yes, people stay that that long. We just talk about astrology, answering all of your questions. So, if you want to get a sample of that in the free community, ask your questions in my Facebook group, Star Powered Podcasts. You can find me on Facebook and, ask your questions, and I may answer it on an upcoming episode. All right, my friends, that is a lot. I have a lot of content to share, but I hope that this has served you as we get ready for Jupiter entering Taurus. Let me know what you think. And again, little reminders, if you are excited about my eclipse retreat, head on over to starpowered.com/eclipse. Sign up for that luxurious, decadent retreat. And then also, if you're interested in Star Powered Style, that's coming up in Q3, make sure you're on the wait list for Star Powered Circle. Head on over to starpowered.com/circle so you are notified when doors open up in June. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you soon. As a human design projector, my energy shines more brightly because of people like you who share my work. If you enjoy this podcast and want to help build a movement of innovative astrology and leadership and spark the intuitive revolution, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, or better yet, share this podcast with your change-making besties.